There's only New Zealand directors left. It's too far to go home, we just can't be bothered getting on the plane, basically.
So if we can start with, what was your inspiration for your short?
I'll start. So Brett and I have been working on a TV pilot set in a nursing home for a few years now. We are just really drawn to nursing homes. We're drawn to old people, which is slightly odd, I know, but yeah, we just love that these places are a mixture of beauty, sadness, but also extreme humour as well. And being able to kind of simultaneously feel those emotions is quite unique and special. As for the short itself, obviously you saw how simple the idea is, so that came to me in a flash, really.
What he said. My nan had Alzheimer's, so it was fascinating to watch. I mean, it was completely tragic and awful, but at the same time there were moments where I couldn't stop laughing, really. She served me tea one time and ripped open the tea bag, put the tea inside, filled it with cold water and put the sink plug on the dish as a cookie and gave it to me. So it, despite how sad it was, it was very funny at the same time. So it's that balance between that tragedy and comedy which is what inspired the film.
A friend who wrote it, Martha and I, we thought we'd make a film together, and we just brainstormed a bunch of ideas. And at the time, I was going through a similar situation, but my boyfriend at the time was moving to the UK, and we threw a breakup party to celebrate the end of the relationship, and it was a famous ex-couples theme. And yeah, I dressed up as Courtney Love and he was Kurt Cobain, and so Martha just kind of took that idea and...
So it was a costume?
Yeah, it was a costume party.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Right, any questions from the audience?
I guess the short answer is no. Dotty herself is not in our pilot. Yeah, sorry, it's not a very interesting answer.
The tone is very much in keeping with the pilot, and it's just the tone which we were trying to achieve. We'd be glad it got came through on the short film. Yeah, so I hope that answers your question.
So the question was, how many films have we made? This is my third short film.
This is our first film that we've done together. Actually, the first film either of us have directed.
Yeah. We made a home movie once. We went to the beach.
Are there audience questions?
The question was, how long was our shooting schedule? So for Dotty, we did a 2-day shoot, and we finished like 3 hours early and went to the pub on the second day, as you do. But the reason we finished early is because our first AD, the very talented Seamus Cooney, I hope I got that right, he had allowed a lot of time for our 91-year-old actress to forget a lot of lines. I mean, 91, you know. To forget her lines and just to kind of keep her energy levels up. So he very kind of sensitively allowed all this time for her to do that. And she walked on stage on the first morning, did the whole script start to finish verbatim, without getting anything wrong. And if you remember that script, it's not easy. I find it hard to remember. So Joy Serving, talented actress.
We shot for 5 days, but over 2 weekends, and unfortunately the last weekend of shooting, which we did 3 days, was the Rugby World Cup final, which was in New Zealand, and we had to schedule shooting around the rugby games, which is a really bizarre thing to do for film, but it was chaos, but it worked out fine. So the question was about set design, and specifically Ellen is leaving the string, the wall. Are you talking about that?
Well, it just played through the entire short. Like the picture, there were like lines across the picture.
Yeah.
And it was just definitely thematic throughout the entire short. So I wanted you to talk a little bit about it.
Cool. Okay. Well, I work on most of my shorts with a friend, Heather Haywood, who always does the set design, and we always like to have themes and motifs that run through the film, and I mean for this one it was just lines, which was the only way I could think of representing travel. So we just tried to put that in the background of the film as much as we could, and then it wasn't until after we'd shot the film that the title designer, Luke McPake, and I discussed the titles, and he decided to just run with that theme. And I guess it's the idea of showing paths crossing, and you go this way and someone goes this way, and you might connect here and then never meet each other again. And yeah, that was the only way I could think of representing it, really. Yeah.
Well, Mick and I went to the library and just randomly chose a whole lot of books to try and find images that sort of represented the feel that we wanted for Dotty, and we ended up with a whole scrapbook full of just these random, colourful images. And we gave that to our very talented set designer and artistic director, Shane Radford, and he was inspired by that. We thought he'd look at it and just throw it away and go, what do you want me to do? But he took that on board and created what you see there. We wanted to have that institutional look, because some of these homes have rooms that are so small and so dull. So we wanted to keep those grey, dull, muted tones, but still have a bit of colour trying to come through that institutional, depressing look.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, the script from Mick's original draft, it always did have an old man who was, I think, initially a gardener outside, and for some reason the character of that grew on us, and what it became was, I guess, a comic relief in a way, and also showing just the repetitiveness of what can go on in those homes. And it was also semi-inspired by the location itself, that it did have this path. And a lot of people with Alzheimer or dementia do end up walking around and around in circles. Some homes are designed for that purpose. But yeah, for comic relief mainly, but Mick might have some more to add to that.
I mean, just reiterating really, anyone who's spent any amount of time in a nursing home will bump into someone who just goes around and around the home, usually trying to get out, how do I get out of here? So that just, totally heightened and cemented the whole theme of a nursing home. Started as an old lady knitting, went to a gardener, and then was just an old man walking. The question was, how did we come to direct a film together? Well, Britt and I have known each other for far too long now. I think last year we worked out it was more than half our lives. We studied Indonesian together when we were 16. We don't know much Indonesian, unfortunately, but we did learn Abbott and Costello's Who's on First that year and perform it as much as we possibly could. We actually performed in a sketch comedy trio for 5 years together in New Zealand. So we're like kind of best mates and colleagues. So.
The question was, is this our first time to South by West? What was the process in getting it here? Basically, we just applied. We had a list of festivals we wanted to go to, and I'm going to take all the credit, but actually it was Mick who applied and spent a lot of money in applying for festivals. But this was definitely the highlight of the festivals we were selected to. So, this is the US premiere of Dotty, and we're just thrilled to be here, really.
Yeah, I applied ages ago as soon as submissions opened, and then quickly forgot. And then when I saw that the deadline was approaching, I saw that I'd missed the deadline, and I was like, I didn't apply. I'll have to apply next year. And then weeks or a month later, I got an acceptance email, and I was so happy because I'd totally forgotten.
I remember doing a full fist pump into the air, like literally at my desk. I never do that. But I just wanted to mention also that those of you who don't know that Michelle's film Ellen is Leaving won the jury prize the other night for short film.
Oh, wow.
And I did want to just thank the festival, and it's so awesome coming here. Like, I've had the best time, and everyone's films are amazing, and I'm so happy and privileged to have been invited. So thanks.
Thank you for sharing your film. Any other questions? All right, well, thank you.
Go home. Ask another question. what are you working on next, and do you have websites so that we may go to them and keep up with you guys since you don't live in America?
I'm producing a short film currently. It's an animated short film called Queenie, and that's due to be finished in a few months. And I'll be working on a feature probably now. And I don't have a website. I'm a little bit behind in that area. But I've got a Facebook for the film and a personal one. So if you like the Ellen is Leaving page or try and add me as a friend, you can follow me that way. And I've got Twitter, and I just joined Instagram. Yeah, I'm really excited about it.
What's the question? Yeah, that's right. We're, no surprises, Britt and I are embarking on writing a feature film set in a nursing home. Incorporating some of the elements of Sundowning, which is a TV show set in a nursing home. Website is jollygoodfilms.com.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks a lot.
Really appreciate it.